For more on this case, let's bring in David Scharf, a trial lawyer and litigator at Morrison Cohen LLP. The Department of Justice wanted 30 years. The guy gets 8. What do you think about that?
It's barely a slap on the wrist for somebody who tried to alter the history of the United States by killing off an associate justice of the Supreme Court and then having the Biden administration try to replace him with a more progressive judge. It is outrageous, and it's very sad, and it's way below the federal sentencing guidelines. The federal sentencing guidelines out there were 30 years to life. That's what the Justice Department wants. 22 years less than that. That is what we call in the appellate law substantively unreasonable, and that's the basis for the appeal. That 22 years less than the federal sentencing guideline was not justified for a downward reduction by Justice Boardman here.
Okay, so the Department of Justice plans to appeal. They plan to ask for a longer sentence. What are the chances they'll win?
Well, they're going to the Fourth Circuit, and when we analyze the Fourth Circuit, we see that there are 15 judges that are up there. 9 have been appointed by Democratic presidents. 6 have been appointed by Republicans. So the odds don't look good when you look at that. But if you dig a little deeper, we see that there are Clinton and Obama appointees from the Fourth Circuit who have closely looked at issues when courts have had a downward departure from the federal sentencing guidelines and have said that those downward departures need to be well justified. I think Attorney General Bondi has got a good appeal and has hopefully a good chance of reversing this decision by Judge Boardman.
I want to put up on the screen some of the internet searches that this convicted would-be assassin made in the days before this attempt on Kavanaugh's life, a search of countries least likely to extradite to the U.S. In one statement, he said, yeah, but I could get at least one, meaning a Supreme Court justice, which would change the votes for decades to come, and I am shooting for 3. People have killed judges before, and then did Google searches on how much force do you need to stab someone's neck, and the most effective way to silently kill someone, searched the insanity defense, and then searched, does twisting or dragging a knife cause more damage? Was the judge aware of all of this kind of information before she made that recommendation, before she passed that sentence?
Well, the judge clearly overlooked or decided that she wanted to weigh more heavily the information, that she chose to weigh more heavily the remorse, the turning himself in. But at the end of the day, you look at that evidence and you say that is somebody who wasn't just simply thinking about something, and that if he hadn't turned himself in, nobody would have known about it. He was planning this, and there was protection for Justice Kavanaugh and other justices of the Supreme Court that I believe would have stopped a potential crime. This attempt wasn't just somebody thinking about doing something bad. This was somebody who planned, drove across the country, and that's why I think that the decision by Judge Boardman is going to be overturned, because it is substantively unreasonable when you're looking at what the crime was and the need for deterrence. I mean, we're dealing with a political environment where there have been 2 attempted assassinations of the president. There have been other attempts on other politicians. Politicians have been shot. Charlie Kirk was killed only a few weeks ago. He was a political figure. We absolutely need to have deterrence out there that makes a sentence for somebody who is convicted of a crime of trying to murder a justice of the Supreme Court be something more than a slap on the wrist, be serious, be deterrent. If you're going to act in the way they have, you've got to go away for 30 years to life.
Quickly, this judge was a public defender before President Biden appointed her to the bench. Does that indicate that she has some sort of a bent toward the accused?
Well, public defenders spend a lifetime and their careers defending the accused, and certain of those proclivities certainly come through in the way people approach things. This judge clearly thought a severe downward departure was appropriate. I think the Fourth Circuit's going to overturn it. I think General Bondi has it absolutely right to take it up on appeal.
David Scharf, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.